All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. It is 8:30 p.m. on the east, 5:30 p.m. on the west, and we are here, right now. We got the one and only Kelo on the line, multi-platinum as well. You already know, right here on the line. How you doing, Kelo?
Everything is good, my brother. Everything is good.
First and foremost, I gotta say, man, thank you for taking the time out of your busy evening to come on the radio station. I'm loving your music, man. It most definitely is some real hip hop substance, man. So I'm most definitely enjoying it for sure.
You know how we locked in anymore. You know what it is.
So I gotta ask you, man, like taking you way back to the beginning here, what made you actually decide to get into the music industry?
Man, it was just a way to express myself, man. It was a good way to express myself. I grew up listening to some good hip hop, KRS-One, Too Short, and it was all about expressing yourself, man. So it was a good way to let people hear where I'm coming from, just my inner thoughts, you know what I'm saying, my wants, my needs, my desires, you know what I'm saying. It was just a way to express myself, and then it became a business, you know what I'm saying. Because I was rapping before it was a big hip hop business. So that's what it is, man. It's just an artistic form for me that became a business.
Hey, man, you know what? You are most definitely in business, man. Like I said before, phenomenal, talented individual, man. You most definitely put in work.
Yes, sir. You know it.
And also, you actually created your own label called Global Thugz. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about that, and what made you decide to start your own label?
Well, I was in the industry for a long time, not as an artist, and I'm under the Thug Life branch, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Big Stretch, the new rest in peace to Big Sight, Free Rated all, all the guys. So I decided to start my own imprint just so as I can do consulting for artists. I can also put them on records and push their records if I like and push them out to different markets just to give them a kickstart to their own career. You know what I'm saying?
And when you brought up the whole Thug Life thing, I actually did not know that, man. So like they always say, you learn something new every day. But if you don't mind me asking, man, what was it like actually working alongside Big Sight? Because he's one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, man. We actually, it was crazy because before he passed, we was doing this big event in Vegas. We was doing a big event in Vegas right before he passed, man. So, all the homies, man, they all the homies, man. Like I said, big up to all the Thug Life homies, man.
And if you don't mind me asking quickly, man, what is one of your most your most memorable memories you actually share with Big Sight?
Well, I grew up with Big Stretch. Big Stretch on the East Coast. Big Stretch, Majesty, the Live Squad, the Thugger Dawn, as well as a lot of the Thug Life people that's more than the music side, you know what I'm saying? Like Big Minute, my man Top Hand, Uncle June, all the Thug Life mob dudes that's out there on the West Coast that's original.
And I first want to say rest in peace to Big Stretch.
Every time I go to the West, man, there's always so much love, man. It's always so much love. I'm a New York cat, bro.
And also, you were actually a member of the group Troubleneck Brothers. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the story behind the formation of that group, and how did you meet the rest of the members?
Well, actually, yeah, my older cousin, Matt Nelson, I'm from the east side of Harlem. So, some of the members are from the east side of Harlem. My cousin Matt Nelson, Big Red, Mo Money, and then the rest of them was from uptown or Convent. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually family. That's family right there. So the whole Troubleneck Brothers, and then they had split up. And then my cousins on the downtown Harlem cast, we started the Die Hard Records label. And then from there we had the Mo Money, we had Mace, we had the Locks, Geneviese's, Richie Thumbs, you know what I'm saying? We had a whole movement with that. So that was a crazy time too. That was early on in the game too, man. That was like the late 80s.
Most definitely the golden era of hip-hop, man. Back when hip-hop was hip-hop.
Yeah, like I said, I've been in the industry since then, but I was in the back. I was behind the scenes. I was doing a lot of radio stuff. I was doing street team, tour organizers, situations like that. I had started putting out music until 2010 as an artist myself. So I had a long run in the game before I started putting out music.
And also, as well, the Neck brothers actually were signed to Stepson Records. I was wondering, actually in the early 90s, sorry, I was wondering, how did that record deal come to be for you guys? And of course, what was it like being signed to Stepson?
That was dope. You know, we were signed with Stepson, and we were signed with Miss Jones. Miss Jones and Dougie Fresh were putting out music. We were putting out music. We was right down the block from G Street. And yeah, Stepson was dope, man. You know, Enough was at Stepson, Renee McClain, and everybody ended up doing big things, man. It was a beautiful situation. It was so early on in hip hop, you know, so early on, it was like when getting your song on the radio and getting it on BET was everything. You know what I'm saying? That was everything. There was no internet. You know what I'm saying? There was no MP3s, so it was all wax and cassette. There wasn't even CDs yet.
And when you said like your music was on MTV, when you first saw yourself on MTV, man, I gotta ask you, like, what was that feeling, just being able to see yourself on television, man?
It was exciting to put my own music out. I thought it wouldn't be such as exciting as it is put my own music out, because like I said, I've been in the industry for a long time. I've worked so many dope projects with so many excellent artists. Then I had a bunch of plaques, you know what I'm saying? We was on the road together, putting in work. So that was a great experience. But doing it yourself and having your own music out and getting your own applause, that's a whole nother feeling, man. It's just like a whole nother high.
And speaking of plaques, man, and also what I mentioned when I was doing the introduction for this interview, when I said platinum, you know, you actually received a platinum plaque for Usher's Raymond vs. Raymond record. I have to ask you, tell us a bit more about that, and of course, what was it like actually working with Usher on that project?
Yeah, like I said before, I actually started putting out music. I did a lot of jobs inside the music industry working for various labels. So yeah, I got the Usher plaque. I got some P.D. Pablo. I got Lil Jon and D.A. Twins, R. Kelly. I worked at Jive Records and I worked at TBT Records. So those are where the majority of my plaques are from. And like I said, when I was working at those two labels, everything was popping. Like Jive was popping. Jive has an incredible catalog, period. Like Jive has an incredible catalog. And when we went to TBT, is when D.A. Twins and Lil Jon was going crazy. So that was like a whole new Atlanta. Like that was ushering in a whole new Atlanta when I was at TBT with Ying Yang Twins. When I was on the road with them cats, man, we was having a ball. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, yeah, Little John, man, back in the early 2000s, like 2003 criteria, he was anything that man touched, man, turned into platinum. He was most definitely a phenomenal artist. Like he's still doing his thing, but like you know what I mean. Most people forgot about him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he started it. He brought in a whole new wave for Atlanta. Like he created a whole new Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did that. He definitely did that.
And if you want me to ask, man, what was it like actually being on tour with him, man? Because it must have been hella crazy being able to, like, you know, party with Little John. I see him in the music videos, man. I can just imagine what he'd be like. You know what I mean? Just behind the scenes.
Well, he's actually really laid back. He's really laid back. Except for when the cameras come on, he started getting loud and rowdy. But he's a pretty laid back dude, man, a little short. But he's funny as fuck, though. He's funny.
Hey, man, most definitely. I remember Get Low was like, I still listen to Get Low like it came out yesterday, man. So it's most definitely. It's always Little John.
I got a good Get Low plaque. I got the good Get Low platinum plaque. I got one of those up on the wall.
And speaking of, also when you mentioned P.D. Pablo earlier, man, I also noticed that you received a gold plaque for P.D. Pablo's Diary of a Sinner first entry. I have to ask you, what was it like actually working with P.D. Pablo?
P.D. Pablo was a funny cat. That was a funny cat. And you know, some funny thing about that song, man. At North Carolina, we worked that song for like a good 3 years before it popped off. Like the label pushed that record, and pushed that record, and pushed that record, and it finally caught on. And when it did, it exploded. But that record could have never been. There's a lot of records that could have never been if it wasn't for a lot of label backing. Like that's when you see the power of the label backing, because they pushed that record so hard, and it was like everybody was ready to give up on like this record is gonna do nothing, and then all of a sudden it was crazy, and then they had the USA remix, and it was even crazier.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta admit, I have that song actually in the station's rotation, man. It's catchy, you know. You know, like North Carolina, throw your hands up. It's catchy, man. I still listen to that today, man. That and also Freak League is another amazing Petey Pablo track.
Yeah, basically too. We worked that record so hard. We worked his records really hard for some reason, and they end up catching on. They really end up catching on. But we worked those records really hard. So that
Yeah,
was his first project.
especially with some songs back in the day, right? Like the music, like the music industry is evolving so much, right? So it just took a little while for it to catch on, and most definitely, man, it caught on all right.
Yeah, it's crazy because nowadays you think a record don't catch on within a month. They just drop it and go on to the next one. And the game evolved so much. But yeah, the job days was dope, man. You know, we was working the CKOR, everybody in the club get tipsy. We had what else we had? We had the Mob D project. We was working real closely with a Violator. Rest in peace to Chris Lighty. Shout out to Dave Lighty. We worked real closely with them at this time. What was that Job Records? Because he did the Violator compilations.
So when you worked with when you worked with Petey Pablo and Little John and Usher and all these individuals, was that at Jive Records?
Well, no. Jive Records was Petey Pablo. There was R. Kelly. There was E40. There was Too Short. There was Rashida. And then the TBT, that was a whole other era. That was TBT was Little John, Ying Yang Twins, Joe Gotti, and Pitbull.
That's what's up, man. And speaking of another artist, actually, we actually got connected through OG Suicide. But I want to ask you, how did you get connected with OG Suicide? And are there any future collaboration projects in the work between yourself and Suicide?
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm big on the East to West compilations. OG Suicide, like I said, he's been around since the original Thug Life days. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I have both heads throughout the years. But like I said, I wasn't an artist. I just started being an artist until later on in life. So I really had a lot of good relationships. But I'm just coming back, of course, and crossing the bridges again as an artist. So it's always love. He had a lot of plugs, and he was like, definitely I'm going to put you in some situations to help you promote your music and get it out there a little more. That's the OG, man.
Oh man, most definitely. I got connected with OG Suicide there about a year and a half on Facebook. I had him on the station, and since then, me and him we talk every now and then. But he is a phenomenal individual, man. Most definitely a really talented guy. I love what he does as well. He actually helps individuals that are going through suicidal problems or mental illness, and he actually talks with them, man. Like, you don't really see a lot of celebrities nowadays willing to be like, "Here's my phone number. Call me if you need to talk."
Yeah, nah, he's hands on with the community, man. It's one of the realities. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fame and fortune. People get caught up in that and don't realize everything is realistic. They don't realize it until they hit home and it's like one of their family members or one of their children. There's a lot of entertainers out here that their children committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? They don't really talk about it too much. They like to sweep it under the rug, but it's a lot that goes into it. Like, people get fame and fortune. They reject their family, they reject their friends, they think they're above it all. And then it's a time that you go back to your family when it all crashes and crumbles, and you realize there's so much that you could have done when you was in a position to do it, and you have that guilt and you live with that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot that you could do when you have a little bit of a influencer type of vibe with you, and you got more people that pay attention to you. You should use that more cautiously, But life goes on, man. You live and you grow and you learn.
Most definitely agree on that one. Most definitely agree. And also, in 2016, Global Thugz was actually named Movement of the Year by EHMP. I have to ask you, how does it feel to actually receive that achievement?
That was excellent, man. It was good to know that not only as an artist, my grind with my lyrics and my putting songs together was being acknowledged. Also, the fact that I put other people in positions to improve their lives and make themselves a little more successful and put them in a position to do things for themselves and the people around them. That was a great acknowledgement, man, because I do like along with OG Suicide, I like helping people put them in a better position. I'm not the type of person to hold their knowledge until, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to spread the word, and I like people to know be knowledgeable yourself. Don't always depend on people to take care of stuff for you. If you can learn to do it yourself, you better off doing that.
And that is most definitely true. If you don't mind me asking, is that like the only award that Global Thugz has actually won, or was there other ones as well that you guys won?
Yeah. I won a couple of underground awards. I won a couple of Artist of the Year awards and such like that. Song of the Year. I've got a couple of acknowledgments. I've been doing a lot of stuff in the police brutality situation also. So I've also getting a lot of acknowledgement on that lane. I'm just out here doing my part, man.
Hey man, I most definitely have to say congratulations on all the awards, man, because yourself and your company as well, man, you guys most definitely deserve that, because you guys put in a hell of amount of great work, and you guys are talented as well, man. So congratulations on all the awards and accolades.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, my brother.
Hey man, you are most certainly welcome. But also earlier this year, you actually released your single "Siamese." So I have to ask you, what's the inspiration behind that amazing single? And also, where can our listeners buy or stream themselves a copy?
Well, I created that song earlier this year. I actually created it the same month I released it. I created it in March, got it mixed up, mastered it, put it right out. And I was on the road. I was on the road with the Griselda camp. I was on the road with the Smokers Club tour. I was doing the Rolling Loud pre-roll tour. So I was on the road moving, man. So I was just putting music out, man. Everything was happening so fast that it seemed like I was moving at double time. So I was like, Siamese, double up. Everything was moving like in double speed. So I just had to keep up. So I just did the Siamese joint, and it caught on. Like I said, I've actually been putting out singles every month. I've been doing the 12 for 2020 challenge. So I'm putting out 12 singles throughout the year 2020. So every month I've been dropping joints. I've been putting out a lot of good music, man, but that particular song just happened to catch on. And a lot of radio stations jumped on it, a lot of DJs, a lot of females was doing the Siamese challenge on social media. So it's picked up, man. But yeah, the song is available everywhere. It's TikTok, Instagram, Google, Tidal, Spotify. You go down the whole list. It's available everywhere. Gramzunkut, Siamese. Make sure y'all can check that out.
Most definitely, everyone. So if you are listening and you want some fresh music for your playlist, make sure you purchase that today. Remember, purchase it, don't stream it. Make sure you give them some dollars rather than cents. That's an analogy I go with.
That's fact. That's a fact.
Like in my personal opinion, streaming is good, but you have to stream a lot to actually get a dollar, man. So I personally just purchase the singles. That way, I know I'm putting actual money in your pocket.
Yeah. That's a good look. Well, it's a new generation, so they don't even know about buying it. They only know about streaming it.
And also, on October 30th, you were actually dropping your single "Sin" featuring Mikey Polo. I have to ask you, what can we expect from that single? And of course, like, how did you get connected with Mikey Polo?
That's another song we recorded this year. Me and Mikey Polo was doing the Rolling Loud tour. We kept bumping into each other. It was me and him, rest in peace, Pop Smoke, and Smoke Lord Ski Mask. So we was moving around, man. We was doing a lot of joints together. Me and Mikey Polo just vibed. So we went to the studio, and we did a joint earlier this year. We did a joint No Game. That was more on the lane of having fun, partying, you know what I'm saying? Just having fun with the ladies and whatnot. And then we went more into the emotional side. He on that emo song. So, we came up with Sin, man. Like, everybody want to see our downfall. And only people only to congratulate you when they see you doing wrong. When they see you doing right, they don't want to congratulate. They just low-key just hate on you. But when they see you in a negative space, man, they kind of more encourage that. So it's just people like to see you sinning, man. They don't like to see you winning. So we just went in the studio and just dropped some jewels on it real quick.
And so, Kelo, I have to ask you, man, what's next for you? Is there anything I happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to promote with our live audience while we still have you here live on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM?
Yeah. Check out that Black House Conglomerate. That's a situation that's going for strong men. More or less single fathers or fathers that's out there raising their seeds We got the Black House Conglomerate. You know, we giving advice and we just putting knowledge into each other's ears about situations when you go through with your kids. You know, especially right now with all this COVID, man. You know, they ain't got the schools to close, and we out here teaching our kids ourselves, which is a good and a bad. You know, it's taking away their little social skills, but you get to teach them the knowledge that you want them to learn. So it goes back and forth. So we got the Black House Conglomerate. Also, we got the Dippin' Donuts apparel. You know, the 420 apparel that's popping everywhere. We got the crazy weed T-shirts and the hats and all that going on. And we're currently working on a street couture leather jackets line, which should be coming out real soon, next fall. So yeah, just working, man. Putting a couple of documentaries together, man. Letting the world know the story. I definitely got to connect with Majesty from Live Squad. You know, Big Stretch little brother. So he can come over here and chop it up with you and tell you more about the whole Thug Life, Global Thug situation, Thug the Dawn. You know, when we get down to it, Tupac's first tattoo was Harmless, which was Big Stretch's first single. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I most definitely can't say no to that. I first and foremost have to say, rest in paradise to Big Stretch, man. You know, I got to say, such a talented individual and gone way, way too soon.
Yeah, Big Stretch, Money Bags, man, Original Big Small, it's a whole lot of people, man. My man Skyway, MC, AD the General, man. It's been a crazy year, man. It's been a crazy year, but it's been a crazy life too, man. We lost a lot of people along the way. You just gotta keep it pushing, man. We gotta keep it pushing, but let the stories be told, man. So I'm definitely gonna pass that info on to you so you can get deeper to that situation and know what really went down.
I'm gonna say I remember the song that Big Stretch and Tupac did, man. Under Pressure. That song was hard, man. That song was hard off the Thug Life Volume 1 record.
Yeah, Under Pressure. I mean, Pain was a street classic for Pop. For Pop and Stretch, that Pain joint from the Above the Rim soundtrack is it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was it.
And so, Kelo, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the radio station. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. And of course, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and the rest of your newest projects if they're not already doing so. Excuse me.
Yeah, you know, they call me Kelo. But if you go on social media, it's Gramzunkut. It's Gramzunkut. Gramzunkut. That's everywhere. That's all my social media handles. Or you can search Global Thugz with a Z. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the S, we got the Z in there. You search Global Thugz. You can find all my music, interviews, shows I did. You can find out links to the merch. You know what I'm saying? You practically find out when the next shows is coming out, when everything open up, what private events I got going on, what's new with the Bud line. You know, it's just a lot of things going on, man. Just keep tuned in, man. Stay tuned in.
And I gotta say, Kelo, I just want to say, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening and coming on the radio station, man. Like, I've been a fan for a long time. Also, shout out to OG Suicide for getting us connected, man, because, you know, this was a great interview in my personal opinion, and it's always good chopping it up with you.
Yes, sir. Likewise, man. We got a whole lot of things to talk about for the future, man.
Hey, man, most definitely. My DM is always open. This right here is my phone number, so anytime, feel free to call me, man. We're connected.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, you most definitely stay safe out there, man, and we most definitely shall talk soon.
You know, I'm on radio, man.
Have yourself a great night, Kelo.
All right, brother.